Hey guys, welcome to lecture number 6. In this video you will not see me, I will not be using the other camera. You will only see the screen share. Okay, and today is going to be a very short lecture. So first off, a couple of things. Again, class updates. You need to install Eclipse or use online compiler. If you have issues, please attend tutoring sessions. Attend labs tomorrow, right, on Fridays. I highly recommend that. Again, if you're a computer science major, you have to do it. If you're not a computer science major, I would highly recommend doing that because it doesn't hurt. It only gives you necessary practice. That practice is very valuable for doing homeworks because you will understand the material a lot more. You need to complete the quiz today, ideally before watching this, right? Lab tomorrow, everyone is welcome. In general, we're going to have quizzes every Thursday and homeworks every Monday. Okay. Always email me if you have any questions. Okay, today. So first off, which we're going to do, we're going to kind of solve this one. So check this out. Write a program which accepts 3 integers and checks where the sum of the first 2 given integers is greater than the third one. Okay, so here's the sample run. Input 3 integers ABC, and the user types in 5, 8, 9. Check whether A plus B is greater than C. True. Okay. So let's see. Let's go over here. Let's go to my favorite online compiler. Okay. So we actually didn't do it before. We didn't like do where the program would accept something from us, right? So accept 3 integers. So that basically we usually do something where there is a terminal, right? And with like as a result of doing something, we see something in the terminal. So the program gives us. But in that case, kind of it's asking us to type in 3 integers, and then the program is going to do something with it, right? With those 3 integers. Okay, so that thing is called a scanner. Okay. So scanner is basically is a variable, right, which allows a user to type something in here in the console, right, and then it's going to scan. The program is going to scan whatever you typed in, and it's going to save it to a variable. Because again, like we need to have 3 variables A, B, C, right? So yeah. Okay, so how to create a scanner? How to create a scanner? So first off, what you need to do, you need to import a library. So here's what it looks like. At the very first line before the name class, right? But after the bold comment, okay, you need to type in import java.util.scanner. Okay, and then here you need to say scanner as a data type, right? So remember we talked about data types, right? If it can be primitive data type, trivial data type, if it starts with a lowercase letter, right, and it's usually somehow highlighted. If it is not a trivial type, if it's complex, then it's going to start with a capital letter and it's not going to be highlighted. So we're going to say scanner and then create the name of the scanner, just whatever you want. I will say input because we're going to scan the input from the console, right? And then here we need to say this phrase. You just need to memorize that. Again, don't think about what it means yet. We'll explain that later, especially if you're a computer science major. Just say new scanner, and then the parentheses say system.in. And again, it's very important. Semicolon at the end. System starts with a capital S, dot in, right? So not a comma, not colon, not anything like that. Scanner starts with capital S in both cases, okay? And U. Lowercase new. Okay, so after that we're going to have the variable called input, and then we will be able to use it. So how do we use it? Okay, so we need to create 3 variables, A, B, C, right? So I'm going to say int A, okay, and then int B, and then int C. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to scan it. So we're going to ask user to type 3 numbers, right? So how do we do that? We need to print that out, right? So system.out.println. Okay, yeah, so input 3 integers ABC. Okay, and then we need to wait until user types something in, and then we need to scan it and store the values. So the first number he types in will be in A, the second number he types in will be in B, the last number he types in will be C. Okay, so how do we scan it? How do we store it in these variables? So here's what it looks like. Again, we're just creating a variable like this, a regular way, right? And then we're going to say input, okay, dot next, and then capital I and T, parentheses with nothing in it. So this is an object, and this is the method, okay? You probably remember from the previous lectures we talked about what dot means, what the parentheses mean, right? And although this is not really a verb, but that's how Java developers created that. So what does it mean? That means input, right? So we're going to use this object, and dot next int, that means please scan the next integer, okay? Scan the next integer and save it, store that in A, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing for these three, okay? So now check this out. I'm going to, note how it works so far. There is hello world, right? And there is some kind of text, which basically means it's an end of program, right? So now check this out. I'm going to click run, and you will do that in Eclipse as well. It says input 3 integers ABC, and now you see that's kind of flashing, right? And there is no text in green. In Eclipse, it's a bit less obvious. It's going to just say input 3 integers, and then it's going to stop, right? So you will not see, like, there is no green text by default. And in this particular case, what does that mean? That means the console is waiting for the user, okay? So basically, this was executed, the input was created, this was executed because we see that here in the console, and now this line is what makes Java wait until you type something in. So now I can type in, for example, 5, 6, 7, okay? And now I'm going to click enter. Once I click enter, it's going to scan these three numbers, okay? And then since I didn't tell Java to do anything else, you see that's kind of the end of the program, right? There is nothing between here and here. Yeah, you see there is like this green text, which means the program is done. Now, check this out. What if I just try to mess this up? What if I do, for example, I don't know, QWE, okay? Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, click enter, right? Yeah, so that throws an error. Right? Why? Because Java doesn't know how to convert QWE into integers ABC, unfortunately. You can do that if you change that to characters, for example. Okay. No, in this case I can't do next int. Can I do next byte? I wonder. No, I can't. Possible loss of conversion from byte to character. Can I do next character? I don't think next character exists, honestly. Yeah, next character doesn't exist. Okay, sorry. Not gonna happen. Okay, next int. Perfect. So again, if you type in something different from an integer, Java is going to have issues. For example, if I type a double, right? For example, if I type something like 5.5, 1.2, 3.4, you see, also throws an error. Why? Because again, 5.5 is not an integer, 1.2, 3.4 are not integers. Okay, perfect. So we did that. Next, what do we do? Check whether A plus B is greater than C. Okay, so how to do that? How to kind of, so you see, like if there is a if I draw like a control flow of the program, right? So kind of the Java is going like reads all the lines from top to bottom, right? And then it kind of thinks about should I go left or should I go right? Right? So basically, if A plus B is greater than C, then it should go left and print out true, right? Otherwise, it should go the other way, print out false. So we actually didn't cover that yet, and we will be covering that later in the future in this class, but kind of to give you a spoiler, here's how it works. It's a very, very simple thing, but I'll explain it formally how it works later, but I hope you'll understand it now as well. So basically, it's called if statement. So you say if in the parentheses, you just type something like your condition. You need to provide a condition. So if A plus B is greater than C, okay, then what do we need to do? Print out true, right? So we need to print out true. Print out true. Okay, cool. What does that mean? That means Java is going to come, like, again, it's going to execute all the lines, all the statements from top to bottom. When it comes over here, it basically asks a question. So, is A plus B greater than C? If the answer is yes, if this is true, then it executes whatever's between this brace and this brace, it executes this. If that's not true, then it skips it completely and just comes and executes like whatever we have over here. Okay, hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, totally cool, don't worry about that, we'll be covering it later. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So let's try that. ABC, right? So let's do 1, 2, 3. Okay, what do you think? Well, not 3, let's say 0. Okay, so do you think that'll be true or not? So 1 plus 2, is that greater than 0? The answer is yes, it's greater. So that should print out true. Okay, perfect. Now let's try, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. Okay, or let's say 4. Is 1 plus 2 greater than 4? The answer is no. So this should not be printed out at all, right? Why? Because we're just skipping this. Not like we print out false in the otherwise, right? If this is not true, we print out false. No, that's not the case. We basically don't print out anything. Now, another question, a tricky part would be, what if I say 1 plus 1, 2, 3, right? So is 1 plus 2 greater than 3, right? Is 3 greater than 3? The answer is no. 3 is not greater than 3. That's why, again, this will be skipped, and then we'll come over here and we'll do nothing. So we'll click, hit enter. Nothing, right? Okay, anyway, again, don't worry about it if you don't understand what it means. But now, I prepared a couple of exercises for you. Fun stuff. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. There are a set of exercises. I want you to do them all. If you do them before Friday evening, right? So if you do them before Saturday, basically, send me an email with the code for all of them, and I'll add 0.5% to your final grade of extra credit. If not, again, if you're lazy, don't worry about it that at all. But you will later, you may have issues because the practice, right? So you need to practice with Java. The first exercise, write Java program to print out the results of the following operations. Okay, -5 plus 8 times 6. So I want you to kind of put this mathematical expression in Java, okay, and print out the final result of that formula. Okay. So for example, -5, -5 plus 8 times 6. So 8 times 6 is 48, right? -5, 43. Don't just say system.out.println 43. Okay. So this will not be accepted. This will not be accepted. You need to like actually put this formula inside Java. Next, I want you to print this out, American flag. So what you need to keep in mind, number of stars. It needs to be 50. 50 stars, and I mean, just count how many equal signs we have here, but honestly, it doesn't really matter that much, but I'll definitely count the stars. And they need to be of this shape, in this shape. Moving on, next one. Write Java program to convert a string to an integer. Okay. So input a number. So you're basically going to input a number, string, 25, right? And the integer, and it's going to, how do I say that? Now let's delete this one. Let's delete this one. Maybe too early. Write a Java program to swap two variables. What does that mean? That means you're going to have, let's say, two variables. Let's say A, which is 5, and B, which is 6. Okay. No scanner needed. No if statement needed. Okay. Okay. So basically, what you need to do, you need to write the code somewhere here, such that at the end, look, so somewhere here, A will be 5. Sorry, A will be 6, and B will be 5. Okay, but you cannot do something like this. A is equal to 6, B is equal to 5. you can't do that, okay? Because basically, what if I change this to 7, right? Then in this case, I have to change this as well. So your code need to write it your code needs to do it automatically. It needs to swap the two variables automatically, such that whatever I type in here, by the kind of at the end of the program, they'll be swapped automatically. Okay. The idea is that, for example, well, I guess so. Kind of to give you a hint, the most natural thing is to do something like this: A is equal to B, B is equal to A. Right? In this case, it's going to is that going to be swapping the variables? No, that's not going to work. So you need to find a solution to that. Moving on. Write Java program that accepts an integer, which means it's going to you're going to use a scanner, right? Next int, integer, let's call that integer n, and computes the value of n plus n times n plus n times n plus n. Oh, sorry, plus n times n times n. So n plus n squared plus n cubed. Okay. Moving on. Next part. Write Java program to calculate the sum of two integers and return true if the sum is equal to a third integer. Well, that's again going to have you if-else statement, so that let's delete that. Yeah, last one. Write Java program to print out odd numbers from 1 to 99. Print out one per line. From 1 to 99. Okay. So think about how you can do it in a smart way. Can you do it in a smart way? Okay, but even if you just print out all numbers from 1 to 99, like with all the so with basically, what is it? 99, I would do like 50, 49 variable, 49 lines of code, 49 printouts. I will still accept that because that serves the purpose. Okay, cool. That's it. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you on Tuesday in person. Bye bye.